M1 is make one right, M1L is make one left. This is your make one right, this is your make one left. So what does this mean to you? You don't have to do one right and one left if you don't want to, but if you can see here, if you take a peek, you can see these increases. The make one right is leaning out to the right and the make one left is leaning out to the left. So if you wanted to do a garment or an increase on pretty much anything that you're doing, if you always stayed, you know, with the one side make one right and the other side make one left, you get this, see this lovely design element, how you get this banding down here and you get this lean to your right and lean to your left. This is what you end up with from it. So it's worth giving it some consideration if you never have before. But now what does that mean in terms of knitting, you're going to ask? So I'm going to show you this make one right, which leans over to the right, and this make one left, which leans over to the left. I'm going to move this out the way and pop this into here. And let's make sure that we are on camera. I'm just going to knit, whoops, excuse me, just going to knit a couple of stitches here, just to get into it. Can you see? All right, so I've got a couple of stitches and I'm about to do my third stitch. Now, if you're having difficulty seeing me, go ahead and zoom in on your screen because you want to see what I'm going to do next. The beauty of modern technology is just a pinch and zoom. So go ahead and do that. So here I'm going to make one right. To make one right, my left needle, and there are different ways of picking this up actually. I'm going to show you in what I consider to be the simplest way. So make one right, I'm taking my left tip of my needle and I'm going to swoop in behind this bar that's between my stitches. You see this bar right here?
Yeah, I think that's...
I'm going to zoom in behind this bar and I'm going to pick it up from the rear. Now then, the big thing that everybody says to me, I don't remember which is make one right and make one left. Here's your trick. Make one right, make one rear. Come in from the rear. Whoops, don't split your yarn. Right for rear. Now when you're picking up from the rear like that, if you knit into here, you haven't really got a stitch to knit into, and what you end up is a nice eyelet. If you did that, you don't want an eyelet in this instance. If that is your design element, then you would. But mostly you're going to come in and you see if you come in through the front here, you see how this yarn is wrapped around, so it actually creates a stitch, semi-stitch. You're going to come into the front and you're going to knit that stitch. Okay, I'm going to knit one and I'm going to do it again. Here is what you're going to pick up right here. And again, I say this often, don't be afraid to be a bit brutal, you know. If you can't find it, rummage around and find it. But here we are, make one right. So R for rear. Left needle is coming into the rear. It's going to pick up, scoop up that stitch onto your needle from the rear, and then you're going to come over and knit into the front of that stitch from left to right. Just knit a regular stitch and keep on going. What you're going to find is you can see how you've got this little right leaning leg here, and that's how you're going to, when I showed you earlier, that's how you're going to determine the direction of your increases. So make one right. If you've got any questions about that, you put some messages up for us or give us a call at the shop and we'll talk to you. Or my favorite thing, press pause, rewind, play. Pause, rewind, play. And don't forget your zoom. So that was your make one right. Here's your make one left. So make one right was in through the rear. So that means you make one left, you're going to scoop this bar from the front. See that? Now when you scoop from the front, again, if I was to knit into the front like this, I would get a little hole, a little eyelet. I don't, in this instance, want that. I just want a nice smooth increase without any holes. So I'm going to knit into the back of this stitch. Now, obviously this is tight. Sometimes I like to ease this yarn around with my finger around the needle so I can actually get into the back there. I'm not going to tell you it's not fiddly because it is fiddly. Absolutely worth the effort though. So into the back, and then you're going to knit. Okay, I'm going to knit another one. Here we go. Here's your bar. This is your bar right here. And at this make one left, I'm going to scoop from the front, and I'm going to knit into the back of that stitch. Pretty easy, folks, isn't it? I know you're a bit astounded. Do not feel intimidated. Just get your yarn on your needles and give it a go. So one more time, I'm going to make one right for rear, scoop it from the back and knit into the front. Now I'm going to make one left. I'm going to go in from the front, scoop it up and knit into the back. You got any questions about that? You let me know. I'm going to bring this back again just so now you can visualize that once you've seen it. Here's my make one right. I get these lovely right leaners right here, and my make one left, these lovely left leaners. So put this into perspective. If you're doing a top-down sweater or cardigan or something like that, you can see here's your cast on, and you're coming down and your shoulders and your back are getting wider. What a beautiful design element this is, huh? Isn't that lovely? Anyway, that's it, folks. That's your make one right and you make one left. If you've got questions, you let us know, and we appreciate